smokefreephilly.org to learn more about judgment-free support and free medications that triple your chance of success. The PA Tobacco Quit line is free, it's confidential, and it works. Tune in this Saturday at 3 p.m. for Let's Talk Safety with the Philadelphia Fire Department. Learn about fire prevention and emergency preparedness. Join the conversation exclusively on Word Radio, Black Talk Media.
Can I get an amen?
Hey family, it's your favorite church girl, Kayla J. I want you to join me every Sunday from 6 to 11 a.m. for Sunday morning praise. Get ready for church with me. We have the verse of the day. We have prayer every hour. We have interviews, and we have that good gospel music from yesteryears to today. So make sure you get up and get ready for church with your girl, Kayla J, every Sunday from 6 to 11 a.m. right here on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
We are the home of Progressive Black Talk Media. This is WURD 900 AM and 96.1 FM, Philadelphia. Streaming online on wordradio.com and the Word Radio app. The views and opinions expressed by the guests, listeners, and hosts of any program on Word Radio do not necessarily reflect those of the ownership, management, or advertisers of this station.
I'm simply saying that life finds a way.
All right, people, write something on the board. Let's spell it. First letter.
L O G.
What's that? What?
It's time. It's time to have real, honest, open, difficult, and inspiring conversations. It's time for Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Well, hey there, family. Hello and welcome. Welcome to Love and Life with Carol Riddick right here on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. Welcome to Thursday, June 6th. Oh, here we are. Here we are. June is underway. Black Music Month. We are in the full swing of it all. How are you making out so far this week, I should say? Well, this month and this week, to that point. How did you make out in this heat today, y'all? I thought I was going to melt. I did. I thought I was going to melt out there. But it's all right. It's all right. It's all right. I want to share a feel-good story with you today. So I read that yesterday, some area high school students were honored at City Hall for their work in leading community service projects. Roughly 62 area high school students were celebrated with a meet and greet with our very own mayor, Sherelle Parker, and the Philly Service Award, a local competition aimed to spark ways to give back to the community. I thought that was so nice. That made me feel good. So I thought it might make you feel good too. So, I was looking, as we do. We jump all around social media looking at what's going on and what's happening and what have you. And I don't know if you all saw, there was a video yesterday. It was circulating all day long. And it was of a white father who shoved a black superintendent during a graduation ceremony in Wisconsin. Now, I won't get into all of it. We can if you'd like, but I won't get into all of it right now. But I'm saying that to share an update with you that the superintendent filed for a restraining order against the father who shoved him. I don't know if you saw the update to that story today, but there was so much to unpack, so much to unpack in that. As a matter of fact, if Dr. Z is up for it tonight, maybe we'll talk about that. We'll get into that. I would love to. If you're up to it, I'm up to it. Why not, right? Family, if you are joining us, let us know. Send us some love. If you're joining us by way of social, send us some love that way. And you can even give us a call. You can do that by dialing 215 634 8065. You can even call us toll free. You can do that by dialing 1-866 361 0900. That's right. That's right. So, family, it's time for our Black History 365 moment. So, in honor of Black Music Month, today's Black History 365 moment is about the one and only Ella Fitzgerald. Known as the First Lady of Song, Ella Fitzgerald was an American jazz singer whose rendition of A Tisket a Tasket made her a global star. She was the first Black artist to win a Grammy in the first year of the Grammy Awards, and her band leader Count Basie also won an award. Well, you all know she went on to win several more Grammys and, of course, other mentions of honor as well. Family, that is today's Black History 365 moment. I want to wish all of our love lights who are celebrating a birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday to all of you. That's right. And I'm sending extra love and hugs to everybody whose light is shining just the slightest bit dimly today. Your tribe and your entire village right here wants you to know that we've got your back. We have got you. You hear me? We have got you. You've got all the support you need right here. Family, we have a ticket giveaway. Ooh. We have a ticket giveaway today. We are giving away a pair of tickets. That's right. Well, two pair. All right. So you've got two chances to win tickets. Angelique Kidjo is at Longwood Gardens. Yes. Ooh. So Longwood Gardens welcomes 5-time Grammy Award-winning artist Angelique Kidjo on Sunday, June 9th at 7:30 p.m. in Kennett Square. Come see why Angelique Kidjo is considered one of the most extraordinary voices in international music as she graces the outdoor stage with her striking vocal performance and inspiring spirit. So if you're interested in joining Longwood Gardens for this powerful performance in the beauty of their gardens, then Word is giving away a pair of tickets to the third caller. That's right. To dial 215-634-8065. That's right. That's 215-634-8065. Family, you cannot win if you've won a prize from us in the past 30 days. That is Grammy Award-winning artist Angelique Kidjo, Sunday, June 9th at 7:30 p.m., presented by Longwood Gardens. Yes, I'm excited about that. I hope you are too. I hope you are too. So, family, as you know, on Thursdays, or for those of you who may be unaware, Thursdays is when we talk to Dr. Z. And tonight is no different. It is no different. We have with us Dr. Zenida Driver, our love light, who is the executive director for Sunrise Community of Pennsylvania, with well over 15 years of experience as an accomplished trainer, professional speaker, and supervisor in the field of human services. And she currently serves as an adjunct professor for several esteemed universities. Family, I welcome you to the conversation with none other than Dr. Z. Hey there,
Hello.
How you doing, Dr. Z?
I'm good. How are you, Carol?
I will not complain. I will not do it. I will not do it. Well, I didn't share our love lights that were checking in. Uh-oh. Nasir. Hey there, Nasir. Nasir is checking in and he's sharing peace and blessings with everybody. Malcolm is checking in. He shares that he is watching and listening from Westbound Erie. And Eric shares, hey there, WURD family. It's Thursday. Let's feel that awesome energy watching Love and Life on YouTube. I love it. I love it. Wait, Nasir, you went to see Bad Boys movie? Oh, I'm so jealous. I'm so jealous. I am so jealous. Oh, he said it is action packed. I cannot wait to see it. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. So Nasir commented about the video that I talked about the father and the white father and the black superintendent. And he shares, yes, he didn't want his daughter to shake hands with him. I know it was horrible. It was horrible. Marlon Barnes is a love light that is joining us today. And he shares single dad of 4. Oh, God bless you all. Marlon, I'm terribly sorry to read of that. Terribly sorry. Malcolm shares, welcome, Dr. Z. Welcome, welcome. So, Dr. Z, I don't know if you heard. I don't even know if you saw. You did not see it.
I did not. Do you have the video?
Wait, you know I do. You know I do. Wait. Let me get this video together.
I was looking it up. I was like, let me make sure I know about this story.
Let me show you this video. Heavens to Murgatroyd.
Oh, excuse me. Where's Brandon? Get away from me, bro. No. Hey, go. You need to get. Hey. I will get off. Right now. I don't care. Get off the stage right now. That way, Michael.
So, that poor baby, I feel so badly for the young lady because that's a moment that she cannot get back. So that I feel so badly for her. But to those of our family members who are listening and who were unable to see that video and who missed it, and to give better context, there was Baraboo High School was having their high school graduation ceremony, and the students receiving their diplomas would work their way down the line, shaking the hands of school officials who were congratulating them. And as this one young lady was making her way down the line, her father charged the stage. He came rushing to the stage, pushing Dr. Rainey Briggs, who was the black superintendent, out of the line, stating, "You are not going to touch my expletive daughter." So in the video, that's what you saw. And you see the disruption at that moment, and how everyone was taken off. Everybody was taken aback. Everybody was caught off guard. So I was sharing today that the superintendent filed a restraining order against the father who shoved him. But I think it's just an awful moment for that young lady, that poor baby.
Definitely.
That is what I was sharing. When we talk about what's going on in this world, and we talk about what we're facing, it's just a lot. It's a lot. Eric has a comment, and he shares, "I didn't understand the refusal to shake hands. I watched it 3 times, and the rest of the chaos took place out of camera view." Yes. So the superintendent, he shares that he was trying just to stay off the stage with this father. He didn't want it to disrupt anything any more than it already had done so. And but the father kept insisting, "You're not going back on this stage." Like he wouldn't let up. He didn't want his daughter to shake hands with the black superintendent. It's just horrible. It's horrible. It's horrible. So there you have it. There you have it. But how are you? How are you, Dr. Z?
I'm good. I can't complain, Carol. I can't complain. Life is pretty good. How are you?
Good. And I have no complaints. None whatsoever. I thought when I was looking today to see what's going on, because I feel like social media is the news to some degree. You get all your updates.
If you don't have time to watch the news, just scroll through social media. It'll tell you everything from the gossip to the biggest news to international news, depending upon your followers.
Yes, you get all the highlights of what's going on for the day. It's terrible. It's terrible. But I said, let me see. I had not checked social media today. Let me see what the updates are. What happened today? What did I miss? And that was what I saw. That that I wanted to address, because what I was really caught off guard yesterday when I opened social media yesterday. The video was on my feed about 5 times, so I saw it every single time, and then I closed social media. I said, okay, this is a lot. This is a lot. And here we have another love light, W. Scott Orthe, who shares, it's just a lot. It is. But I feel my takeaway from that is that I just feel so badly for that baby girl. I feel badly for her. It's just, like I said, this is supposed to be a joyous occasion, a happy moment. She's being celebrated for graduating high school, and that should have been her takeaway for the day, just being loved on and celebrated. And this is a blemish, of course, not a blemish on her, but just on her day, on her celebration, and something that she will undoubtedly remember forever.
And I'm wondering, Carol, if she kind of knew it was coming, because I'm sure, I would think, if there was some conversation at home about his dissatisfaction with the Black superintendent or with Black people in general, I'm wondering if that was something she probably already was prepared for or knew Dad would potentially do.
Well, that's a good question, because I thought about that too. I wondered how verbal or even how open about his distaste or dislike he was at home, or if he just had it. He just said, no, I'm not doing it anymore. I was curious about that too. One of our love lights, Fifi. Hi, Fifi. Fifi Dawkins is checking in. She's saying hi. Hey there, Fifi. Happy to have you join us. So, all in all, here we are. We're still dealing with these situations, and that's horrible. But I'm praying for the young lady. I'm praying that, there's no telling. I don't know if she lives with her father, if she does or does not, or what have you. But I'm praying that that is not her point of view. And so there you have it. There you have it. So Dr. Z, what have we today?
So we have a lot today, Carol. But for our first half of our segment, we are going just to talk about what makes a good leader, as we looked at the incident that just took place on the stage and how the superintendent handled it. He knew to remove the gentleman from the stage, which was, I think, great leadership.
Well, he shoved him off the stage.
Oh.
He was shoved off of the stage. The superintendent was the one he charged.
The stage.
Yes, he charged him off of the stage. But he did say that he opted just to stay off. So, so as not to be any more disruptive.
Which I think also is a great sign of a good leader. Like, I know that this could be tension. Let me remove myself from the situation right now so that I can cool off and the situation can cool off and not take away from the moment of the other graduates. And so I think that sets the stage for our topic today. What makes a good leader? A lot of people want to be leaders, but are we all really leaders? And so I think we have a great video. I think you have that we can watch.
I do have it. Let's see.
Leader, you're going to have people who don't like you. If everybody always loves you, it's probably because you're not really leading.
Right.
Because great leaders have to make decisions that are not always popular. Great leaders have to make decisions based upon what they see and they have oversight and also foresight, and everybody else has hindsight sometimes and they don't see it yet. You have to be willing to ruffle feathers and to do things that other people will not do.
Right.
But at the same time, there is a persona and this swag that you have that you can be a great person to your boss. Like, you know how to make them shine and make them look good.
Yeah.
And the people that are under you, you know how to give them confidence and not micromanage, but delegate appropriately. And the people that are beside you treat you like a friend. When you find somebody that really understands chemistry, you got yourself a win.
All right. Chemistry. So it's about that chemistry, about understanding how to navigate, how to maneuver people, I imagine. That's what makes a good leader.
And so I thought it'd be a good conversation for us to talk about what overall, when we think of good leadership and we think of people around us that are great leaders, what comes to our mind? Because I think he emphasized something I think is really pivotal in the beginning of that video. He talked about great leaders are not going to be liked by everyone.
Mhm.
And most people want to be liked. They want to have a connection with the people around them. But when you know that you are in a leadership role in any capacity, you understand that sometimes you're going to ruffle a feather. Sometimes you're going to make someone upset. And a lot of times people don't like that.
Yeah, well, I agree with that point, but I don't know any one person that's liked by everybody, period.
Right.
And everybody is not a leader, everybody's not a good leader. So I don't know any one person that everybody likes.
Mhm.
And I just think that's just human nature. That's just the way things are. But family, we've got a lot of conversations going right now. The conversation about the two videos that we shared are on the table. Both conversations are still open. I see that you're commenting on our socials. We're going to take just a short commercial break, but when we come back, we're talking about all of it. So stay with us because we'll be right back.
My grandma could always tell when I was into something dangerous. She used to say, mess around if you want to, you gonna fool around and find out. She was right, and nothing good ever came from ignoring her advice. That's exactly how I feel when I hear somebody telling me to vote for Trump or just not vote at all. It wasn't that long ago that our parents and grandparents had to fight in the streets for basic civil rights. We can't forget where we've come from or how quickly things can go back if we don't stand up for our rights and the rights of the next generation. Joe Biden, he's not perfect, but the choice is clear. Our votes elected Biden, and he's shown up. Billions in loans to Black small businesses, banned police chokeholds and federal no-knock warrants, canceled $167 billion in student loan debt.
Let's get this done.
Our votes have the power to determine our future. Make it count or fool around and find out. Paid for by Black Pac, which is responsible for the content of this ad. BlackPac.com, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee.
Is your child stuck in a school that doesn't meet their needs? What if you had $10,000 to send them to the school of your choice? It's possible. Lawmakers are considering a program to offer kids a free scholarship to better, safer schools. If enacted, your children could each qualify for up to $10,000. But lawmakers must hear that parents like you need these scholarships. Visit LifelineScholarships.com to learn more and secure your child's future. Paid for by Commonwealth Foundation.
Are you ready to take the next step in your career? Don't miss the 17th Annual Neighborhood Job Fair, Philadelphia's largest citywide employment event. It's happening Friday, June 7th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Aramark Star Complex at Temple University on 1816 North 15th Street. Adult job seekers, recent college grads, and military veterans. This event is specially for you. But hey, everyone looking for job opportunities is welcome. Dress to impress. Bring copies of your resume and meet potential employers face to face. For more details, reach out to the event organizer, Michael Robinson, at 215-204-0677 or email mike.robinson@temple.edu. Don't miss this chance to kickstart your career. Tune in to Word Radio from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. for a live broadcast from the job fair, hosted by Joanne Bell.
Summer is just around the corner. Do you need a low cost or free summer activity for your child? Is your teen searching for a summer job? The Philadelphia Office of Children and Families has you covered with day camps, local pools, neighborhood spray grounds, tutoring support, and more. Because it's a summer thing. To find a low cost or free summer activity near you, visit phila.gov/it's a summer thing or call 215-709-5366.
We're celebrating Black influence and Black excellence worldwide on the home of progressive Black talk media, WURD.
Let me tell you something, and don't you ever forget it. Success is nothing without someone you love to share it with.
You're listening to Love and Life with Carol Riddick on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
And we are back. Welcome back, family. Welcome to Love and Life with Carol Riddick and Dr. Z right here on WURD. It's Thursday, so it's Thursdays with Dr. Z. That's right. I love saying that because I get excited about Thursday. In any event, we have two topics going right now. We showed two videos. The first was the incident that took place at the Wisconsin high school graduation ceremony of the superintendent being shoved by a father. And the other video was about being a good leader. There was a conversation that had taken place, and a comment was made about being a good leader. I see that comments are coming in on our socials, and I am going to do my best to read every one of them aloud. To that point, Marlon, I hope you're still with us. I just want to make you aware that Cheryl left a comment for you, Cheryl Bartlett. Hi there, Cheryl, our love light Cheryl, just to make you aware of that. I'm going to go to our phone lines first. But I need to tell you, we have ticket winners. OMG. Ms. Jada and Ms. Laverne won the 2 tickets. We had 2 pairs of tickets. I am so jealous. They will be going to see Angelique Kidjo at Longwood Gardens. I love Angelique Kidjo and I love Longwood Gardens. So enjoy. We're going to go to our phone lines. Ron is on line 1. Hey, Ron, thank you for calling.
Hello, Dr. Z. Hello, Cal. Before I make my comments about y'all two, I'll go to the questions that brought forward. What make a good leader? And came out of your community, Cal, Bill Barrett. I don't know if your parents ever talked about him. And what he did, he would come up to Washington every night, and he would come to Philadelphia and be in his office, where the people would have access to him. Matter of fact, Wilson Good took that same tactic when he came from the utility board from Harrisburg and became the managing director. People would line up. And what's so important about that? People have access to vent, to go in and put their question and feel as though that the office is concerned about them. And I know we're living in a different time now with our council people and like that. They're doing the best they can. It's something about establishing a rapport with the people. And I would say this to any representative. When they look at past history and they can use that yardstick to measure, I would say to someone that would be holding me up for my district, I would say, I don't mean to be disrespectful, but my people are running ahead of me, and I must hasten to catch up with them. I think people just like to be a part of it. So they're not leaders, but representatives. They're different than leaders in representation. I think that's what we want out of our representation, that they're not leaders. Leaders is a different thing, comes out of a different, different mechanism. But I want to say to you and Cal, and I listened to Dr. Z. Cal had on someone last night, and they were talking about caring and having in a relationship. And I was talking to some ladies the other day from Canaan. A lot of women from Canaan always speak with me and talk with me and everything. And I'm seeing so many, I don't want to say sad, but concerned and lonely women out here, want partnership, and understandable so. I say, I know it's difficult. And in your relationships, if you're having a relationship or have a relationship, you have to go back. It's your choice you'll make. And ask, let us put a line of communication together. That's where it all started. And then maybe you can salvage something. But even each individual, that person, that man, that woman, they must make themselves independent and do not compromise their principle. You don't have to say slander, say negative things and anger. And I believe that could be the beginning of having someone. You can write letters, you can do all those things, Dr. Z. You can give tangible things. But if you get someone in your life, and I hope each one of y'all get that in the listening audience, someone to care for you after all this is over. As you begin to age, I think that would be so helpful. And I hope each one of y'all have that type of person. If you don't have it, I certainly hope that someone will appreciate y'all for what y'all bring. And Dr. Z, Brother Ryan is I'm a rapper. I'm an old school rapper. My rap name is Pop Know Something, number 81. And Dr. Z, I do all kind of rapping, and singing and all like that. And because of it, I'm able to not be a clown, but I'm able to bring humor to people, and the women in particular, and respectful. And I had told one lady one time, I said, I took her to dinner, and so we go into the restaurant, and I said to the people, well, today's her birthday, and I don't mean to disturb y'all, there's all kind of people there. I said, I would like to sing a song to her for her birthday at the same time I wanted to, and they let me sing. When I got finished, the people started clapping, the ladies start howling, what a guy, what a guy, she said, right? But my whole point is, Dr. Z, and that's what relationship, I see it maybe as an older man, it's about with your partner to bring that happiness, the happiness, not happiness so much, but to be able to cuddle, to hold her and know that she's there without any physical action and all that. If the average man, when he embraced their loved one, if you would just hear her breathing, and there's something about her behind her left ear, it's so important. The average man has never experienced that. So Ryan is saying this as I go into the weekend. I hope God be with you all, love and life, and keep you in his arms securely folded until we meet again. By his counsel, God will hold it. And this is what we have to do.
Yes.
Life is so important. It plays a big part of your health. So each one and everybody have a blessed weekend. And look on the bright side of life. I know it's difficult.
Right.
The light that shines. And I hope someone will care for all y'all that desire to have someone to care for you. Thank you, Dr. Z, for what you give.
Thank you so much.
Ryan gives me hope every time he calls. Every time he calls, I walk away with hope. Every time. I wish somebody sing for me in a restaurant like that.
What? You're not the only one. Ron is out here making all the ladies smile and listen. I love it. I forget what he say. I love it. I do love it. Ron, thank you. Thank you so much. I'm going to take a moment to go to our socials because I see your comments coming in. Eric shares, I don't understand why people choose to create such a ruckus at such a memorable moment for these students. Take it to the parking lot after the event. This moment is now viral. Well, that would probably go viral too, Eric, if they went to the parking lot. But no, that is old school.
Meet me at the mailbox at 3:00.
It was always 3:00. Always 3:00. Alfred is saying hello. Alfred Evans is checking in. He's sending love to the entire Word family. Our love like Joanne Kemp shares, I feel sorry for the dad who apparently doesn't have enough money to put his daughter in an all-white school. These are the children who end up marrying a person of color. Interesting point of view. And Alfred has a comment to the other video about being a good leader. He shares a good leader has been a good follower, or better said, a good soldier. And he adds, no one will be liked by everyone. Our love light, Ms. Lily is checking in. She's sending love to everyone as well. We love to see it. Send it right back to you. Eric shares, I agree with the gentleman's comment. Kindness, appreciation, and firmness usually work. Never, ever abuse your position of leadership or authority. It will only lead to resentment and dissension of your crew. Wow. And Dr. Z, Alfred says you look different, but glad to see you. You're looking lovely as ever. Well, he says you're looking lovely as ever. So yes, that's a good thing. Malcolm shares, a good leader does not lead with his or her ego while having a level of empathy for their subordinates. I never liked that word, subordinates. It just sounds, I never, that's me. Anyway, so thank you for that. Oh, Alfred shares, that's what I think the problem is in the Black community. We call elected officials leaders, where they should be looked at and accept the role of representatives and public servants. That's interesting. That perceived leader title is misleading. Huh. It's a great comment. So family, for those of you who have just joined us, welcome. You are tuned in to Love and Life with Carol Riddick and Dr. Z right here on WURD. And we've got two topics going right now. So far, we started talking about the video that had gone viral yesterday about at a high school graduation. where a father charged the stage. He charged the superintendent on stage, who was one of the school officials, because he did not want that official to touch his daughter. And we're talking also about a video that was shared about leadership, about being a good leader. What do you think it takes to be a good leader? What is it, in your opinion, that makes a good leader? Yeah. Oh, no, Malcolm, I wasn't. You know what? Y'all know, Malcolm said, I get it. I couldn't think of another word. No, I know. No. I've always, that word in itself, it just, to me, it feels like there's negative connotation, as if people are.
It does create a sense of hierarchy.
It does.
It does.
I know. Like, wait, what now? No.
I prefer team. Like, you're our team, not my subordinates. We are a team. We work together, because I couldn't do it without you all.
Because we are. Yes. But and see, that's me. My feelings coming out about certain things, but language, that words
have power.
Mean a lot. They have a lot of power. Yes. So Alfred shares, because that official was Black, a good leader knows that they are there to serve. Okay. And Malcolm says that's right. A team. We're going to go back to our phone lines. James is calling in. Hey there, James. Thank you for calling and welcome to the conversation.
Okay, how's it going, ladies? Dr. Carol.
Going well.
Okay, as far as a good leader, I'm going to go on a fantasy type vibe. Say you have your own bubble. You're standing at the door. And everything beyond that bubble, you have life. Everything is spreads. It's a whole new world. And on the other side, you have someone trying to get in. I'm going to ask them a question. Have you ever watched Sanford and Son?
Absolutely.
Have you ever watched The Jeffersons?
Absolutely.
Yes.
That's where I'm going from. Fast forward, being a great leader, just keep it real. I'm going to lead you. I want to lead you. I love you all. Have a good evening. Have a good weekend.
You as well, James. Thank you so much. As always. Family, we're talking about leadership. We're talking about good leadership. How about that? What are the qualities of a good leader? What do you feel a good leader is? What does that look like to you? What does that look like to you? And I'm curious to know if you feel that a person has a good leadership, the qualities that you feel make a good leader, do you feel like they are qualities that work well across the board in the workplace, as it pertains to familial relationships, romantic relationships? Do those same qualities, do they work well in all of those relationships? Just curious to know what you think, how you feel. Just curious. Alfred has a comment. He shares, representatives today seem to take the misunderstanding that they are celebratory and powerful. Gone are the days of Malcolm and Martin, where their representation was devoted to the success of the many. That's a very point. It's a great point.
I think when we talk about that, we talk about a good leader has a great team, and the team looks great. Not necessarily the leader looks great. The team looks great. The team is doing the work. So the success comes from the team coming together to get those things done. And one of the things that I find, just as a leader of a lot of things, but particularly of an organization that has a lot of moving parts, when you are a good leader, you can get your team to do anything. When you are a bad leader, the team is only going to do what they're are required to do within those time frame that they're there. But my team, I'll say, if I reach out to them and I ask them for support beyond their normal business hours, they're there. Why? Because they trust their leader. They know that I believe in them. They know that they have opportunities for growth. So I think a lot of times people miss that leadership is not a dictatorship. It's the idea of how do I help build you as we build our project, as we build the organization? How do I help you grow in your greatness? And I think that is what makes a great leader.
Dr. Z, thank you for that. Thank you very much for that. Family, it's time for us to take another commercial break. I do see some more comments coming in. When we come back from the commercial break, I'm going to go back to our social so I can share those comments with you. Stay with us because we are coming right back.
Hey there, it's Tiffany Bacon, and I'm the host of a new show, Breaking Bread, Sundays at 11 a.m. beginning May 19th. Check out our very first episode, where we feature Booker's Restaurant and Bar. My guest will be the co-owner of Booker's, Cherie Syfax, and Ernest Owens, editor of Eater Philly and host of City Council Live on Word Radio. Tune in as we discuss Black brunch culture while sampling the menu at Booker's. Who knows, this may be your next brunch destination. Tune in for some mouth-watering conversation on Breaking Bread, Sunday, May 19th at 11 a.m. on air and online at wordradio.com. We are WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
My grandma could always tell when I was into something dangerous. She used to say, mess around if you want to, you gonna fool around and find out. She was right. And nothing good ever came from ignoring her advice. That's exactly how I feel when I hear somebody telling me to vote for Trump or just not vote at all. It wasn't that long ago that our parents and grandparents had to fight in the streets for basic civil rights. We can't forget where we've come from or how quickly things can go back if we don't stand up for our rights and the rights of the next generation. Joe Biden, he's not perfect, but the choice is clear. Our votes elected Biden, and he's shown up. Billions in loans to Black small businesses, banned police chokeholds and federal no-knock warrants, canceled $167 billion in student loan debt.
Let's get this done.
Our votes have the power to determine our future. Make it count or fool around and find out. Paid for by Black PAC, which is responsible for the content of this ad. BlackPac.com, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee.
Are you ready to take the next step in your career? Don't miss the 17th Annual Neighborhood Job Fair, Philadelphia's largest citywide employment event. It's happening Friday, June 7th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Aramark Star Complex at Temple University on 1816 North 15th Street. Adult job seekers, recent college grads, and military veterans. This event is specially for you. But hey, everyone looking for job opportunities is welcome. Dress to impress. Bring copies of your resume and meet potential employers face to face. For more details, reach out to the event organizer, Michael Robinson, at 215-204-0677 or email mike.robinson@temple.edu. Don't miss this chance to kickstart your career. Tune in to Word Radio from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. for a live broadcast from the job fair, hosted by Joanne Bell.
Tune in this Saturday at 8 a.m. for Conversations with the Commissioners, hosted by Chairman Omar Sabir. Learn more about voting and how elections are run in Philadelphia by joining the conversation exclusively on Word Radio, Black Talk Media.
Long nose, what's the word, boy? What's the word? What's the word?
WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
You're listening to Love and Life with Carol Riddick on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Welcome back, family. You are tuned in to Love and Life with Carol Riddick and Dr. Z right here on WURD. We're talking about leadership, particularly good leadership. And we both posed the question to you all, asking you what you believe or think a good leader to be. But we went a little further asking, what does that look like to you? Those qualities that you see in a good leader, do you feel that those same qualities are good across the board in the workplace as it pertains to familial relationships and also in romantic relationships? I see some of our family members were commenting. Malcolm shared that a good leader is only as good as the team. Only as good as the team. And our love light, Joanne shares, I've had a few good leaders. Most of all, respect, inclusion, acknowledgement for your input, and also an individual that can pick up on your feelings. Okay. I understand. And let's see. Malcolm shares, sadly, I've known too many bad leaders. Listen, I overstand that. Cheryl is joining. Hi, Cheryl. I love light. Cheryl Mobley Stimson. She shares a good leader is secure in his or her body and mind. The leader understands nobody placed a crown on his or her head. Instead, the task is to act as conductor of an orchestra, knowing the entire musical content, but also where, when, and how each instrument / person enters into the entire performance. The end result is harmonious, melodious, and satisfactory. I love that description. Oh my goodness. I might have to write that one down. Eric shares there are many positions of direction: a conductor, a manager, even a producer. But without a loyal, experienced team, those roles have no purpose. Everyone should appreciate everyone's skills and input. Agreed. Agreed. Ms. Viola wants us to know that she is watching Patti LaBelle right now. Patti LaBelle is live. Ms. Viola, you are a mess. Ms. Viola is living. Okay, she wants us to know. We love you, Miss Viola. She's our very own Where's Waldo. I love it. I love it. So there you have it. So, okay, so it sounds like the majority of the family, we're all in agreement with these characteristics that we believe make for a good leader. So let me ask you, Dr. Z, what if one is in a position of leadership, but is not so much a good leader? What can one do to be better at it?
So the thing about leadership, which I think someone said in the comments, it requires a high level of self-awareness. It requires a high level of confidence within yourself. It requires you knowing your strengths and acknowledging your strengths, but also knowing your weaknesses, because every leader, we still have weakness, right? We don't do everything well. And so I think it's being able to acknowledge that I am the leader, but I'm not good if my team is not good. There is no I in team. I can't do it by myself. And so I think when we are able to really be self-aware of our strengths, be self-aware of what our role is in the band, as someone wrote, or whether our role is overseeing an organization, whatever our role is, making sure we can fully operate in that role with confidence and people believe in you. Because if you're not confident as a leader, your team is not going to be confident and it's going to fall apart. So you have to be able to handle the hard things well. I think that is what makes a good leader. As someone, I think Rick said, there's a lot of bad leaders out here. I don't even know if I would call them a leader, but there are a lot of bad people leading or in the role of leading others. So I think that at the end of the day, just being self-aware is so important.
It definitely is. It definitely is. Our very own love light, Miss Julie Audrey Ward Carnegie shares, greetings, everyone. A good leader steps forward to provide recognition to the unsung. I agree with that too. I agree with that too. And Eric is laughing at Miss Viola. He said Miss Viola's over there multitasking. Yes, she is. Yes,
it's Patty. We can't be mad. It's Patty. Okay.
Patty.
What can you say?
Absolutely. Enjoy. Okay. Enjoy. Okay. So family, I'm curious to know, as it pertains to the other video that we shared too, the one with the superintendent and the father, because I don't even know if like charges could be filed, but what would your suggestion be? How should that be handled? I'm curious to know how that particular situation, right?
I think I think that superintendent, I don't know what happened off a stage. I heard some movement, but I think from what it appeared, he handled it well. He knew that he should not come back on the stage. He could have went on an eagle trip and said, no, I'm going to go back on this stage. I'm going to continue to shake hands. He knew he was probably dysregulated. He probably knew in his mind, I don't believe this just happened. So let me not go back up here until I'm able to calm myself down so that I don't take away from these other students' moments to shine in that moment. So I think he did a great thing by stepping away and probably getting himself more regulated. Because I know if it was me, I would be extremely dysregulated as well.
And understandably so. Understandably so. Yes, understandably. Understandably. Alfred asks, where was this? It was in Wisconsin. This took place in Wisconsin. And Ms. Dolores, our love light, asks, what if it was a prank? Everybody enjoyed the beautiful evening. I would love to believe that it was. I would love to believe that, there was the father was just trying to bring something light, but it did not appear that way.
I don't think the post charges demonstrated it was a prank. But I would want to know, did something happen prior to that? Was there some conversation? Was there some interaction maybe that happened throughout the school year? You know me, I always want to dig deep. What is the root cause of this? Where is this? Is this just your own hidden racism, or not hidden, blatant racism? Or was it some animosity that was built up and he used the wrong moment in time to express that?
I'm telling you, same here. So when I was reading the article today, the article was written from the superintendent's point of view. They'd interviewed him, and he was caught off guard by the father rushing him off the stage. So it didn't give any more information, about what led up to this, because that the same thing. I always want to know. I need to know everything. I need to know everything. Like, did somebody anticipate this even happening? Because the other school officials, they look caught off guard too.
They did. And I'm not justifying. There's no reason that you should ever attack anyone. However, my mind is always wondering, where did that come from? Was that just your own stuff? Was that mental health? Was that built up animosity? I just would like to know. Not to say it is whether I know it or not. It's not okay. But I just would want to know, why did you do that? Why did you use this moment to do that?
Yeah. So let's see. Eric shares, sadly, some leaders get a big ego. They may have higher education, seniority, etc., but a big bad ego can poison the energy. Okay. Our love light Joanne Kemp shares, thinking about the school story, do you think the dad did that to grandstand? He had to know the racial makeup of the school. I thought about that too, but then I thought maybe he didn't anticipate the school officials actually shaking the hands of the students, and because that seemed to be what he was against happening. Alfred shares, he was the only Black person on the stage, and that in and of itself was subject to question. Well, he was the school superintendent, so he was a part of the school leadership. He just may have been the only Black person in leadership at that school. And Alfred follows that by saying that the student looked embarrassed. She did. She did. She really, and that's what hurt me most, because it hurt me. Nick, I'm so sorry. Nick, please join the conversation. You know I always invite you. What do you think about all of this?
Hey, Carol. Hey, Dr. Z. Yeah, when I first saw the video yesterday, I was a bit confused, because at first I thought that maybe there was previous history between the father and the superintendent, but as far as I can tell, they haven't reported on it. So I think everybody was just kind of blindsided by this. And I think it's personally, I think it's a real shame that, this seemingly normal graduation gets interrupted, and this moment has to go viral for something that's just so silly. I mean, you don't want your daughter to shake hands with a Black superintendent. This is people talk about this, and we all agree that we think that we're past this, but evidently not in this country, which is unfortunate. But I do wonder if I don't know, the night before, or if her father had just made like rumblings about things like this. Maybe he didn't like the superintendent. Maybe I'm not sure. But I wonder if this was just completely like a spur of the moment, you know what, I'm going to do it kind of thing, where he didn't think about, the side effects of doing something like this, and certainly didn't think about what his daughter would think about it. It's really a shame.
It is. It's such a shame. I thought about all of that too. Like why? I mean, he again, to one of our Love Lights comment, he had to have known the makeup of the school officials, of the administration. It could not possibly have been his introduction to the administration of the school. And our Love Light, Miss Joanne, shares, why did the dad wait until the daughter was actually there? She wasn't the first graduate to get the handshake. He could have asked his daughter to be seated. Well, yeah. And we don't know. We don't even know if it was racially motivated. Now, hear me out, playing devil's advocate, because he said he didn't want him to touch his daughter. He may have had another issue with him. We don't know. Right. It is my assumption that it is the assumption of all that it is racially motivated, because the superintendent was the only Black person standing in that line of school officials. But we don't know. We don't know. We weren't given any additional information to that. Don't beat me, y'all. Don't beat me. I'm just playing devil's advocate. That's all.
Broadening the perspective. That's all you're doing.
That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. All right, family, it is the top of the second hour. Time for us to take a commercial break and start anew. Stay with us because we will be right back.
It's the WURD Hot 60. Hot 60. Here's the hottest 60 seconds you missed this week on The Source.
Larry Krasner is an American lawyer who is the 26th District Attorney of Philadelphia, elected to the position in 2017. I asked you in the break, why is it that the thieves are so far ahead with all the things that are going on, far ahead of the Justice Department in getting caught? And will you be able to forfeit their monies even if they're out of the country?
I've worked in federal court for many, many years. No doubt in my mind that they are going to try to forfeit that money as much as they possibly can. And no doubt in my mind that they're good at it, because I've seen them do it before. That's not your average fence. Your average fence doesn't have 15 million in a Swiss account, but they do hide assets, and they hide them in different places. And there is no reason why they should be able to keep what they have stolen.
And that's the hottest 60 seconds this week on The Source on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
My grandma could always tell when I was into something dangerous. She used to say, mess around if you want to, you gonna fool around and find out. She was right. And nothing good ever came from ignoring her advice. That's exactly how I feel when I hear somebody telling me to vote for Trump or just not vote at all. It wasn't that long ago that our parents and grandparents had to fight in the streets for basic civil rights. We can't forget where we've come from or how quickly things can go back if we don't stand up for our rights and the rights of the next generation. Joe Biden, he's not perfect, but the choice is clear. Our votes elected Biden, and he's shown up. Billions in loans to Black small businesses, banned police chokeholds and federal no-knock warrants, canceled $167 billion in student loan debt.
Let's get this done.
Our votes have the power to determine our future. Make it count or fool around and find out. Paid for by Black PAC, which is responsible for the content of this ad. BlackPac.com, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee.
Word Radio Digital Tip of the Month with Stephanie Humphrey is brought to you by Comcast.
School is out and summer is here. So what are you going to do to keep your kids busy this season? Start with OutSchool. OutSchool is a comprehensive website that helps you find interactive online summer camps for kids and teens. You can find camps for kids ages 3 through 18 with all kinds of cool topics like music and art, coding and technology, or social emotional learning, and everything in between. You can choose between live video classes or a self-paced program. There are over 10,000 experienced and vetted teachers on the platform, and private tutoring is available if you need it. There are also camps for neurodiverse learners too. There is a small fee for the classes, but joining OutSchool is free, and there are classes for as low as $5 per class. If you're looking for a way to stop that summer slide, OutSchool might be the solution. Head to www.outschool.com and stay tuned to WURD for more tips, and stay connected with us at wordradio.com.
If you have diabetes and you're on Medicare, you may qualify for a free continuous glucose monitor system. Managing your diabetes is crucial to your health. The new CGM systems can automatically manage your diabetes better for you. And by using a CGM system, you can eliminate forever one thing most people with diabetes hate the most: finger sticks. Now it's possible to manage your diabetes better, end the painful finger sticks, and get a new CGM monitoring system at little or no cost to you. We even provide in-home delivery and do all the insurance paperwork for you. Now is the best time to manage your diabetes better and get your continuous glucose monitor. Call now for details. 800-396-0150. 800-396-0150. 800-396-0150. That's 800-396-0150.
Check out the Envy McKee Show, aka Star Folk University, Fridays at 7 p.m. Join the life explorers, thought leaders, visionaries, intuitives, psychics, and more for an evening of out-of-this-world discussions. Bring a journal, a pen, and 3 friends. Class is in session from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Only on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media. We are the home of Progressive Black Talk Media. This is WURD 900 AM and 96.1 FM, Philadelphia. Streaming online on wordradio.com and the Word Radio app.
You're listening to Love and Life with Carol Riddick on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Well, hey there, family. Welcome back. You are tuned in to Love and Life right here on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. For those of you who are familiar, you already know that Thursdays is Thursday with Dr. Z. Well, guess what? She's brought a friend with her in this hour. So, Dr. Z, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Okay. Let me get my notes out, Carol. I wasn't ready.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's okay. But I'm excited. We have, I'm going to let him introduce himself, but we have a great author here. He is going to help us out, ladies. He may affirm some things for the men. He is the author of the book entitled The Sexual Miseducation of Black Men in America. So I want to turn it over to him, let him introduce himself, and then we can dive into this conversation. AB?
Yeah, hello. How you doing, Dr. Z, Miss Riddick? Thanks for having me on the show.
Welcome.
Surprised me too. I didn't expect my face to be right there when we came back. But I'm so happy.
Carol is always full of surprises. Okay,
I
always.
But yeah, thanks for having me on the show. As Dr. Z said, my name is AB Bracewell. That's the name I go by. My writer's name. I'm a therapist here. I'm a licensed therapist in Pennsylvania. I've been working in the field for over 20 years now. So I specialize working with families, individuals, couples. I've been working in so many different types of settings, doing outpatient therapy, working in a school setting, working out in the community. But my real passion is really working with couples and working with men and teaching us how to build healthier, happier relationships. That's basically in a nutshell.
Well, thank you for that. Thank you for that, AB. And welcome. Sorry to have thrown you in the den, but welcome. That's what we do. That's what we do. The family. I know, AB, you weren't with us in the last hour, and we had 2 different conversations going on. So I just want to wrap up from the comments that I saw that our family members shared. We were talking about a video that had gone viral, and we were talking about the, I don't know if you saw it. There was a graduation, a high school graduation that was taking place, and the students were walking down the line, shaking the hands of school officials. Mm-hmm. And this one young lady's father charged the stage, and he pushed a black superintendent. His white father pushed the black superintendent. He said he didn't want him to touch his daughter. And so we were discussing that. So I do want to share that our some of our family members commented after that, and Miss Joanne, she shared the dad hollered out, "That's my daughter. I don't want her touching him." Maybe in addition to being a racist, he has a little mental health issues. Potentially, we won't know. But we were discussing. I did not want your comments to go unnoticed. Gary Bryant, our love light, is joining us, and Alfred said he was just a hot mess. I don't even want to put what Alfred typed, but he said he was a hot mess. So we'll go with that. So I wanted to wrap that up. So AV, I'm curious to know if you can tell us about your book, The Sexual Miseducation of Black Men in America.
Yes, definitely. I released the book last year, actually. So it just came up on the 1 year anniversary of the book. And the reason I wrote the book, for one, I'm a father. I'm a father of a teenage boy. He's 15 years old. And so he's the first motivation of the book. I didn't want him to make some of the mistakes that I've made growing up as a young man in this country or in our community.
Sure.
What I've discovered from doing a bunch of interviews, I've interviewed over 100 men to write this book. And we've done different podcasts, things of that nature. And my first question is always asked. The first question I always ask is, where and what did you learn about sex? Who was your first teacher? And a lot of the responses that I get are things like pornography, music, movies, social media, sexual abuse, just learning from your peers or other guys on the block. And what we've learned, that a lot of the things that we've learned about sex and relationships and intimacy and women and ourselves is toxic, is destructive, and it's unhealthy for our entire community, not only us. So I wrote the book because I wanted to really explore like the emotional and the psychological impact that the things that we've learned about sex and relationships and intimacy has on us as Black men. I also wanted to teach the next generation of men like real ways of measuring their manhood. I want to kind of combat the idea that our manhood is measured by the amount of women we sleep with or how well we perform in the bedroom. That's one of the major things that we build our manhood on as Black men in our community. And I also wanted to speak to older men and help them overcome one of the biggest struggles that I think we all face with, and that's the struggle of just having casual sex. Really, I think that's something that gets in a lot of our way of really fulfilling our dreams and reaching our goals. So that was my whole goal and whole idea of writing the book to begin with. First, it was my son, and then I wanted to reach other generations of Black men.
Thank you for that. You just shared with us, in past conversations, one particular thing that some men are taught that having a lot of sex with a lot of women is, if you will, for lack of a better way of putting it, a measuring stick for manhood. Why would you say this is so damaging?
I think it's damaging because that is what we base our manhood on. I once heard someone say that men have very limited ways of measuring our manhood. One is the amount of money we make. Two is what we do on a ball field, whether it's football, basketball, and three is how many women we have. And with those things, if we use those things to measure our manhood, we're using a broken scale, I can say, or a broken measuring stick to really measure our value and measure our worth. And if we're using something that's broken, or we're using something that's inconsistent, something that's forever changing, like the amount of women that you can get or amount of how well you perform in the bedroom, then how will we ever really know our true worth? How will we ever know our value? And how will we be, I guess, the men or the leaders that we're supposed to be in our communities and in our relationships or for our children, if we're measuring our manhood by something that's so up and down like sex and something that's so inconsistent, something that really doesn't hold its value, to be honest. So I think that's damaging to not only us as men, but it's damaging to the entire community.
I'm in full agreement. I'm just curious to know, Dr. Z, were you about to say something?
Yeah, I was going to say that's a great point. And I know there's a chapter in your book, AB, where you talk about men making themselves sexually available to us as men, but emotionally unavailable to us. Can you talk a little bit about that and why? What was your research? Just any information you can give us concerning that? Because I hear that a lot from women that, hey, he's sexually available, but emotionally he's just disconnected. What's your thoughts on that?
The whole way that most of us, I never want to say all Black men, but a lot of us, a lot of people that I grew up with, in my surroundings, in my community, we've been programmed and conditioned to look at sex a certain way. And through a lot of the tools that I've said, like pornography or the music we listen to or our friends. And the thing that we've used to program our view on sex and relationships and intimacy, it doesn't teach anything about connection. It doesn't teach anything about the individual that we're having sex with. It really just focuses on selflessness. I should say selfishness, and our ability to meet our own pleasures, to meet our own needs. And when we're conditioned and we're programmed to cut off things like connection and intimacy and relationship and just go after sex, which is just basically going after fulfilling our own personal pleasures, that's hurtful and that's damaging. And it is damaging in so many ways because it makes us look at, I should say, our counterparts, because I'm speaking about women, but it makes us not even look at women as women. We look at women as sexual objects. We look at them as a vessel. We look at women as someone that doesn't have their own personality or their own thoughts, their own feelings, their own emotions. We just look at them as an object where we can gain pleasure from, where we can put another notch on our belt, or where we can gain status as a status symbol, basically. And that's how a lot of us are programmed as Black men when it comes to these things. So, when you combine all those things on how we're conditioned to look at women, look at sex and relationships and ourselves, like we see how hurtful it is.
Thank you for that. I want to take a moment. Some of our family members are commenting. Eric shares, hey, AB Bracewell, welcome to the Word platform. Do you find that some men may prefer a male therapist as opposed to a female therapist for counseling or therapy?
Yeah, in my experience, I think when it comes to therapy, we like people that we can actually relate to, that we feel can, understand what we're going through. So most of my clients are male. And we're able to build and build a rapport over that to begin with. And just the fact that I'm an African American male, I can relate to a lot of the things that they go through. I can be vulnerable and share some of my stories as they share theirs. I have learned that a lot of men would prefer that. That's not always the case, but in my experience, yes.
And Dr. Z, Eric is asking the same question of you. Do you feel
that is women prefer women?
Yeah.
Honestly, I have a good mixture of both. Honestly, I have a good mixture of men and women, excuse me. A lot of mine start off as couples coming in, and then sometimes I kind of break them up. But I do have a good mixture of men and women in my practice.
AB, you were talking about a story. To that point, in the chapter titled The Hurt We Cause, you tell a story about the day that you came face to face with a woman from your past. Would you mind sharing that story with us?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I've shared this story many times when I speak to men, and I also have it in the book. It's a simple story that a lot of guys can relate to, but I don't think they ever come face to face with what I came face to face with that day. So I was just, basically on my daily jog. I enjoy exercising and walking, and I ran into a young lady that I used to date casually. This was maybe like 10 years prior to the time when I met her. So we just exchanged pleasantries. Like, hey, how you doing? How have you been? How's life been? Things of that nature. How's your daughter? How's your son?
Mhm.
And I told her what I've been doing in the mental health field. How I'm a therapist now. I don't think when we was dating I wasn't a therapist. So just brought her up to speed on what's been going on in my life. And then she went on to bring me up to speed what's going on in her life. And she told me how she was also involved in the mental health field, but as a client. I didn't want to pry of what was going on, but she decided to be open and vulnerable and share why she was going to therapy. And she just went on to say she was trying to overcome like some of the depression, some of the abandonment issues that she was dealing with from a lot of the negative and toxic relationships that she's been in. So, not to go too much into it, I just say, oh, I hope things get better. So before I jogged away, she stopped me and told me that I was one of the reasons of why she went into therapy. I was one of the causes. And it made me think of how, when we were dating, something that I felt that was just very casual, something that I thought we was just having fun. We were much younger, we were in our 20s. It was just something to do at the time. I didn't realize how much of an impact and how much hurt I was causing her with my actions, that it would lead to her having to, enter therapy and try to seek healing. And I really had to come face to face with that in that moment. And I had to even go a step further and not think about just myself, but think about all the other men that probably have afflicted this type of pain on her. All of the other men that afflicted this type of pain on women in general, and how we think our behaviors, our casual sex is just something to do, is just fun, but we don't realize like the trail of broken hearts and depression and anxiety and abandonment issues that we might be triggering or even starting in some of the people that we just play with. So coming face to face on that day is something I really had to put in a book, but it's something I constantly think about when I teach about this and when I talk about this, and to keep myself in order as well, because I'm not a perfect guy by any stretch, but when I think about how much our actions hurt other people,
Mhm.
the women to begin with, but then when I think about the children in our community, that's just a story I really constantly repeat and have to put in the book.
Wow. I'm processing what you just shared with us and thinking of how that made you feel in that moment too. What you just the trip that you must have been on, thinking about everything that she shared. Because, like you said, you thought it was just casual. You really didn't. The lens that you saw the relationship through was completely and totally different
Yeah.
than the lens that she looked at the relation through which she looked at the relationship. That's and that happens so often. That's so often. And I think it has a lot to do with communication. We were talking about communication yesterday, and people communicating what they want, just communicating, period. Just communication, because there's so many things under that umbrella. I do want to share Alfred shares. Sir, I think this subject is important for our young Black children and will lead in decreasing the tendency for violence among Black youth as well. Um, our Love Lightness Julie shares, I applaud you, A.B. Bracewell, and the transparency of the 100 male participants. Thank you so much. And Alfred says, too, to the point, connecting and communication are important, just like we were expressing yesterday. We talked about it, how important it is just to communicate with one another. Alfred follows his comment by sharing, we never know how we affect another's life, and that is why we must be thoughtful about how we are treating women.
Yeah, and I think we don't, as with some men, we don't take out the time to even think about it, or we often just lie to ourselves about what actually is going on. I used to live by this rule that if I tell her the truth, um, it didn't matter what my actions said. I told you the truth. So I can have sex with you like I love you. I can try to monopolize all your time. I can, hang out with you and the kids. But once I said I'm not looking for a relationship, I felt like I was off the hook. But the truth is that it's still a form of manipulation, and it's still a lie. If I'm telling you the truth through my words, but my actions are telling a totally different story. And I think we often do that. And with this young lady, that's a situation I probably was doing. I was telling myself that she wanted exactly what I wanted, but knowing deep inside she wanted more. And I wasn't ready for it, but I wasn't mature enough just to take care of her feelings. In what I was doing.
And it's so funny, just to jump in as you say that, as that comment you made, AB, I think that's such a great point. As I think about like a lot of women that I've counseled, single women, divorced women, women dating, and they'll say like the guy will say, I'm not looking for a relationship, but they will saturate them with all of the things that aligns with, I like you, I want to be with you. But they will say, I don't want a relationship. And I'm always telling them, you have to listen to what's said, because they can be doing all of the things, but if they are not looking for a relationship, what they share with me is that they are hopeful romantics, that, okay, he's not looking for a relationship when he comes into this, but he's doing all of these things. So he likes it here. So maybe this will lead to a relationship. And so I appreciate you sharing that, because most men won't acknowledge that your words and your actions are not going hand in hand. And that is why that female or that woman is feeling confused in that moment.
Yeah. How about that? Family, for those of you who have just joined us, welcome. Welcome. You are tuned in to Love and Life with Carol Riddick, Dr. Z, and AB Bracewell, right here on WURD. We are talking about relationships. We are talking about love. We're talking about everything under the umbrellas of both. But it's time for us to take a short commercial break. Family, stay with us because we are coming right back.
Hey there, good people. This is Mother, Andrea Lawful Sanders, your host Mondays through Fridays from 5 to 7 a.m. I want to thank you all, first of all, for joining me there, because it warms my heart to see so many of you move to join me at 5 o'clock in the morning. I get up at 3:45 each morning so I can talk to each and every one of you, and you reciprocate. On The Source, we talk about solutions. You've all seen me do this. Education is huge, and you all know Mother loves her seasoned citizens, right? And so we have all the conversations that you could possibly want. We also open up the phone line so you can call anytime you want to, because I always have a good dose of love and affection and understanding for each and every one of you. You know, we are undeniably here for you, the listeners. You have been so kind and so generous to us over the years, and it was my ultimate goal to give you exactly what you are looking for. So remember now, in these Wakandan streets, you can join us 5 a.m. every Monday through Friday, only on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media. Meet us there and see you soon.
Are you ready to take the next step in your career? Don't miss the 17th Annual Neighborhood Job Fair, Philadelphia's largest citywide employment event. It's happening Friday, June 7th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Aramark Star Complex at Temple University on 1816 North 15th Street. Adult job seekers, recent college grads, and military veterans. This event is specially for you. But hey, everyone looking for job opportunities is welcome. Dress to impress. Bring copies of your resume and meet potential employers face to face. For more details, reach out to the event organizer, Michael Robinson, at 215-204-0677 or email mike.robinson@temple.edu. Don't miss this chance to kickstart your career. Tune in to Word Radio from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. for a live broadcast from the job fair, hosted by Joanne Bell.
Hey everybody, do you hear those drums? Guess what? It's Odunde time. I'm so excited. I hope that you are too. We are celebrating the 49th year. Can you believe it? The 49th year of the Odunde Festival. We have a week of events from June 2nd to June 8th, and everything will culminate on Sunday, June 9th with the Odunde Festival located at 23rd and South Streets. I'm so excited. I can't wait to see you and your family. And guess what? This year, guess who our headliner is? Drew Hill. Yes, True Hill will be hitting the South Street stage at 2030 South Streets at 7 p.m. I'll see you there. And for more information, please go to odundefestival.org.
Odunde is back. Join Word Radio on Sunday, June 9th at the Odunde Festival, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. at the corner of Grace Ferry Avenue between Bainbridge and Pemberton Streets. Stop by to meet and greet our on-air hosts, including me, Tiffany Bacon, and EcoWord host POC, joining me for a special edition of Breaking Bread live at Odunde. This special broadcast begins at 11 a.m. You just might be on air, so wear your word gear. Stop by for a chance to spin the wheel for a special prize and bring the family to join in the fun. The special games are powered by the Pennsylvania Lottery. It's a day of fun for everyone. Sunday, June 9th at the Odunde Festival. We'll see you there.
Tune in this Saturday at 3 p.m. for Let's Talk Safety with the Philadelphia Fire Department. Learn about fire prevention and emergency preparedness. Join the conversation exclusively on Word Radio, Black Talk Media.
Want the latest in word swag? Check out the shop tab on wordradio.com. Hoodies, tees, and more in a variety of colors. It's the shop tab on wordradio.com. You can look good and show the world that you're all about Black Talk Media. We're celebrating Black influence and Black excellence worldwide on the home of progressive Black Talk Media, WURD.
What is love?
You're listening to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
I think I know what love is.
Welcome back, family. Welcome. You are tuned in to Love and Life with Carol Riddick, Dr. Z, and AB Bracewell right here on WURD. For those of you who are saying, well, wait a minute, Thursdays with Dr. Z. Well, she brought a friend. She brought a guest. AB Bracewell is an author, a speaker, a therapist, and a clinical coordinator. For over 21 years, he has dedicated his life to helping families, couples, and individuals with building healthy relationships through his work as a family therapist, school clinician, a psychotherapist, and clinical supervisor. And he's here talking with us about life, about relationships, sharing. AB, I have another question for you. There is another quote from the chapter, The Hurt in Us, and it reads, "Sex is not therapy, and women are not Band-Aids. We cannot use them to cover up the parts of us that hurt, then discard them when they are no longer needed." Can you speak more about how Black men are taught to use sex as a coping mechanism?
Yeah, definitely. If you just look at our behaviors alone, like the way we manage our sexuality, like I've heard it described, or Black men described in many ways, like dogs or chauvinists, pigs, F-boys, or what have you. But one of the words I rarely hear us described as being hurt, being damaged, being miseducated, being dysfunctional. And I believe a lot of the ways we express our sexuality, it stems from a lot of mental and emotional pain. But we're not taught to communicate that pain. We're not taught to seek help for that pain. We're not taught to go to therapy or even talk to friends for that type of level of pain. But we are taught that one major way we're taught to get over pain is to find a woman, get distracted by sex, go after your pleasures. And I think a lot of us have learned that instead of seeking the proper help, whether it might be therapy or it could be any healthy way of coping, we've been taught to turn to sex to cope with it. Some of us might turn to alcohol, some of us might turn to drugs or gambling, but at the end of the day, it always comes back to sex for a lot of us. So I just always implore my brothers to find appropriate, healthy ways to cope with their issues. We also deal with abandonment issues. We deal with attachment. We deal with depression and anxiety and things of that nature. But we've not been taught, or we almost feel guilt or shame to deal with those emotional issues in other ways, healthy. But we're often celebrated when we, I guess, not necessarily find sex as a coping skill, but we're celebrated when we can have a lot of women or have a lot of sex. So we use that for almost everything, even when we're dealing with emotional pain.
Dr. Z, I'm sorry, because I know you have some comments.
I was locked in. I was like, that is deep. That is so deep. Let me ask you this: do you find in your practice that your experience? I know there is a huge push now around therapy. Going are the days where people didn't like therapy. Many people are accepting therapy. Do you see men now coming into your practice and embracing this mindset, working through their traumas and their pains? As we are now having an uptick, if I can say, of people embracing therapy?
Yeah, I definitely see an increase in it. I think it's less taboo, especially in our community. We talk about it a lot more. It's definitely still not where we want it to be. A lot of us still need the help, but I am encouraged because I see it in an improvement. I see different organizations that are promoting the idea of men's mental health. I see a lot more men embracing it. The key is just, I guess, trying to find the right way to cater to especially Black men, how to get them to be more vulnerable and open, because for so many years we've been programmed and taught that you keep certain things to yourself. Any sign of vulnerability can be a sign of weakness. So we bury those feelings. We use all different type of defense mechanisms. We deny, we rationalize, we try to intellectualize our emotions, our pain, instead of just being open with it and talking about it and really finding the healing that we need. But like I said, I am encouraged because I see an improvement, even with guys. Like if I do couples therapy, so even if I see with guys that are pushing and pulling and scratching and don't want to come to therapy, by the time they come through a few sessions, they realize it's not that bad. I'm just talking. We're just talking, and I need somebody to talk to. And a lot of the times, it might start as couples therapy, but they'll reach out to me and say, "Hey, I think I need to talk to you one-on-one." So I'm really encouraged by that.
And it probably also is your approach, AB. I think that a lot of people will feel comfortable when they feel like it's not that sit on the sofa, someone analyzing you perspective to counseling. Is someone just trying to help you understand, the various parts of your life and make sense of things that you may have never thought of before. So that's exciting to hear that you're experiencing that.
I can agree with that. That just from the conversation that we're having here. Oh, let the fur baby talk. Fur babies love to join the conversation. I'm just glad that mine is taking a nap. Fur baby, we love fur babies here.
This is when he decides he wants to bark. I'm like, oh my God.
That's all right. That's all right. They're always welcome to the conversation. I'm going to share with you, though. Alfred shares, Mr. AB, just for being an open, honest, and transparent brother. Thank you. And for educating us. We are always learning. Malcolm shares, wow. Thank you for sharing the story that you shared. And then Alfred follows his comment by saying, our failure to be honest and transparent with others causes us to be confused in our own individual lives. Giselle Harrelson, our love light, is sharing, I am loving this conversation. I do know that sometimes there are issues on both sides. Women lie and men lie, and it can be difficult to determine what is real and what is not. But the truth will eventually reveal itself. It always does, doesn't it? Yes, always does. And our very own love light, Miss Julie, shares, I think men are good listeners. Women are great reactionaries. Men generally play back to whom they're involved with what they've heard in their ears. That's interesting. That's interesting. And Henry shares, well, learned behavior from slavery being made breeders having no emotions. That's something to take into consideration as well. Yeah. Yes. Wow.
Yeah, and there's if I can add to that last comment, there's a chapter in a book entitled His Story. And it goes back, past the music and past the videos and past the pornography, and it talks about like the original miseducation of sex for black men, and that's it goes back to slavery. We were brought over here, and we were used as basically baby making machines to keep the business of slavery going. There's so much correlation in relation to what I see today in our community and what was going on back then, as far as having babies and I should just leaving the mother or leaving the family. There's a lot of things I've read that at the age of 14 back then, men were forced. Well, I can't even say men; they were boys, forced to reach a certain quota on making babies, or they were faced with punishment or castration, or they were sold. So it started way back then. That seed was planted that our value and our worth was based in our genitals. Even when they sold male slaves, male slave was more valued based on the size of his genital because they believed he can produce more babies. So I just agree with that comment that he made. Like it doesn't just start today. Like since we were kidnapped from Africa and brought to this country, we've been programmed that our value and our worth is based in our sexual ability or capability.
Oh,
there you go. You go.
Well, I was going to ask another question. Were you going to make a comment about that?
I was going to ask another question too, but you go to your question first. We overwhelming you with questions.
We are. So that just means, AB, you have to come back more to talk about because we are all we have questions. So I was going to ask you if you could talk with us about how pornography plays a part in all of this. Were you going there, Dr. Z?
Yep, and then I'm gonna take it to the second part of that once he answers that.
Okay.
Like I said, I interviewed over 100 guys for this book, as well as just talked to some other guys. And the question I asked was, where did you first learn about sex and what's taught you? And I would say about 90% of them said from pornography. About 90%. Wow. And even for me, that was my experience. Our first exposure to sex was through porn. And if you know anything about porn, you know what it teaches. You know how it displays our women, and you know how it displays us as men. Right. It teaches that sex is something that is forceful, something that's abusive, something that's controlling, something that's insulting. I'm trying to think of all the words, the way sex is depicted through pornography. And,
emotionless.
Yes, yes, exactly. And it's really all about a man trying to reach that destination of having an orgasm, and that's the end of the movie, basically. Right. And if we grow up watching porn and that's our first teacher, we take that frame of mind to our relationships. We take that frame of mind to women when we begin to engage in relationships or having sex. We try to audition women by that same script that we saw in the pornographies.
So what can we do as women if this is if this seed is planted or if it's innate, like what as women, what can we do?
Well, first, I always like to say that every man isn't like this. So let me just say that, because I get some pushback, and it's true. Every man isn't like this, but a lot of us are. And I think it's not on the women. It's not on the women to do anything. That's why I take it upon myself to try to teach boys. I try to teach men how to really separate what you see in those movies and what's real. What you see in those movies is men that's filled with sex enhancement drugs, scenes that look like they're going for hours and hours. Their cuts, their edits, they take breaks and things of that nature. You see women on there looking like they're enjoying what that man is doing, but majority of the time they're being forced. There's a lot of human trafficking when it comes to the porn industry. There's a lot of abuse. There's a lot of drugs all in the mix of all those things. So I try to teach younger men that, that's not reality. That's not reality. And what you believe that women want from what you watch is not what they really want. And like you were saying, pornography teaches nothing about responsibility. It teaches nothing about connection. It teaches nothing about emotion. It teaches nothing about being a human being. So I don't put any responsibility on the women. Of course, if you have a son, if you have a child, of course you can teach that stuff. But as a man, I think it's more of our responsibility as older men to teach the younger generation and teach ourselves like the proper way to approach relationships and intimacy and sex.
Thank you for that, Dr. Z. I know you had
No,
a question or a comment, but
he kind of hit it on the nose, because that's where I was going to go next. How do you teach that? What do you do? We got to go to commercial, Carol?
We do. Yes.
I'll come back.
I was about to say, we come back. We're coming right to you, Dr. Z. Right to you. Stay with us. We're coming right back.
Looking for a little dance hall, soca, reggae, and more? Well, tune in to The Caribbean Connection with Lloyd Cummings, Saturdays from 7 till 10 p.m. only on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
We gathered real Pennsylvania seniors and asked them how they would benefit from an extra $1,000. Here's what they had to say.
Everything is so expensive these days.
Car expenses, repairs,
Like groceries, heating costs.
medications. Sure, I could easily spend $1,000 like that.
Through Pennsylvania's property tax rent rebate program, eligible seniors and adults with disabilities could receive up to $1,000. Check your eligibility and apply online. Paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars.
My grandma could always tell when I was into something dangerous. She used to say, mess around if you want to, you're gonna fool around and find out. She was right. And nothing good ever came from ignoring her advice. That's exactly how I feel when I hear somebody telling me to vote for Trump or just not vote at all. It wasn't that long ago that our parents and grandparents had to fight in the streets for basic civil rights. We can't forget where we've come from or how quickly things can go back if we don't stand up for our rights and the rights of the next generation. Joe Biden, he's not perfect, but the choice is clear. Our votes elected Biden, and he's shown up. Billions in loans to Black small businesses, banned police chokeholds and federal no-knock warrants, canceled $167 billion in student loan debt.
Let's get this done.
Our votes have the power to determine our future. Make it count or fool around and find out. Paid for by Black PAC, which is responsible for the content of this ad. BlackPac.com, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee.
Thinking about quitting tobacco? It's easier when you have help. The PA Tobacco Quit Line is ready with free coaching, medication, and more to help you quit for good. Call 1-800-QUIT-NOW. That's 1-800-QUIT-NOW to get started. Or visit smokefreephilly.org to learn more about judgment-free support and free medications that triple your chance of success. The PA Tobacco Quit Line is free, it's confidential, and it works.
Tune in every Saturday at 4 p.m. for the Did You Know Show with host Bryant Green, right here on WURD 96.1 FM and 900 AM.
Now long nose. What's the word, boy? What's the word? What's the word?
WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
What is love?
You're listening to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
I think I know what love is.
Well, hey there, family. We are back. Welcome back to Love and Life with Carol Riddick, Dr. Z, and AB Bracewell. Dr. Z, I know I said I was coming back to you, so I'm going to go to you, and then one of our family members has a question.
Oh, well, go to family members. My question is not as important as the family member. They can go. They can go
Okay,
first.
all right. Well, Giselle has a question. She has a comment. The pain and trauma from broken relationships can have a devastating impact on people. I've seen a number of men who feel that good guys are often taken advantage of. Many women and men say that their past relationships have guided their behavior in current relationships. What are your thoughts? It's a great question.
For me, I think that's absolutely true. Absolutely true. That's where a lot of our traumas and our issues come from. It comes from past relationships, not only romantic relationships, but I think more importantly, our family relationships, our family of origin. When we think about things, attachment and abandonment or abuse, things of that nature, and how it impacts the way we function in our current relationships, all those things come from, a lot of those things, I should say, comes from childhood. The way we grew up, the type of treatment we received, or the things that we were neglected of. A lot of the times it's not about what actually happened to us. Sometimes it's about the good things that were supposed to happen to us that didn't happen to us, and it also has an effect. We didn't receive the love or the acceptance or the encouragement that we needed to grow up to be good, healthy, functioning individuals, and that can impact the way we function in relationships. So,
sure. Thank you for that, Dr. Z. Did you want to?
No, that's a great question. And then what I was thinking is, it'd be like, I have a lot of time. I meet men and they come in for counseling and they'll say that pornography has been their first teacher. And when we talk about that, one of the things that they share is they grow up in households where they don't have fathers. They don't have someone to teach them what healthy sexuality looks like. So they learn that from pornography. And sometimes they'll say, like, we know not to pay attention to the aggressiveness. We're looking to learn. How do you help men understand that is not really the lived experience when it comes to sex and sexuality? What does that look like for you from a counseling perspective?
A lot of the times, all I have to do is really get them to really look at the results of what they're getting and what they want in their relationships. So a lot of the times, if we know that aggression or that violence or that forcefulness that we learn in pornography isn't real, and we try to apply it to our real life relationships, we usually don't get positive results. We usually get our women or our wives or girlfriends usually tell us about it. Listen, this is not how I want to be touched. This is not how I want to be talked to. And if it continues, we probably have to discontinue having sex. So when we look at our real lives and see that, when we apply the rules from pornography to our real lives, that it doesn't work. I think that's the biggest thing I can do with men, is just show them a mirror and say, are you getting the results that you want? And if you're not getting the results that you want, how can we find new ways of doing things so you can get the results, or that you can stop hurting your lady, hurting your wife in whatever type of way. So, just showing them a mirror to that.
Henry Purifoy, hey there, Henry, shares the connection between a mother and child is such that it is the same connection with your sex partner. The more you have it with different partners, you lose that connection. That's an interesting point of view, Henry. Thank you for that. Malcolm shares, AB right. Those scenarios are not real. A brother could get arrested in real life. Yes, he could. Yes, thank you. Yes, he could, Malcolm. And Miss Billy, she comments, wow, that part about some men wanting to reenact scenes from the pornographic movies, that's really deep. And Alfred shares, well, in my generation, I'd say the first sexual experiences came from the streets. Women or young ladies wanting to be with the number runner or a drug dealer or moneymakers. It's just so much, so much, so much.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree with that. Like pornography might be the biggest teacher, but it's not the only teacher. Yeah, a lot of guys have said that they learned from older guys on the street, playing games where they weren't properly supervised, things of that nature. So the pressure that we experience from even our peers growing up when it comes to sex, getting bullied because you never had sex or you don't know about sex. It's a whole lot of different factors, a lot of different ways that we learn that's unhealthy.
Yeah, they really are. Oh my goodness. I'm in agreement with that. So we have about 3 minutes before I begin to close the show. I want to say, first of all, thank you to you, AB, for coming. I so hope you will come and talk with us again because I know for one, I've truly enjoyed this conversation, and I'm sorry that the hour went by so quickly.
Oh no, I mean we was having fun.
Absolutely. Will you come back and talk
having
with
me.
us
Thanks
again
for having
sometime? You'll come back and talk with us again sometime.
Oh yes, definitely.
Thank you. And Dr. Z, as always, you already know. Yes. Is there anything that either of you or the both of you would like to leave us with tonight?
I'll turn that over to AB. Is there anything you feel like we should know, share for women, share for men? Anything you think would be good last comments?
Well, I think for men and women, I always like to say, in order to be in a healthy relationship, we have to be healthy individuals first. So it's just important for us to seek the proper healing, practice self-care, and try to treat each other correctly. So, very simple, but I'll leave it with that.
Okay. Dr. Z?
No, I think this was great. I think that was a great endpoint.
It really was. It really was. AB, we look forward to you coming to visit with us again. And Dr. Z, we look forward to seeing you the next time.
Maybe AB, you can share your information for your book.
Oh my gosh, Dr. Z, thank you, because I was so engrossed in the conversation.
Please. Yes.
I know I'm buying it, so please.
Yes, it can be found on Amazon. You can purchase the book there. You can get the audio copy on Audible, or you can also go to my website, which is Embrace Wellness Therapy. Is embracewellnesstherapy.com. You can purchase this book as well as 2 other books that I've written.
And could they schedule appointments with you if they need therapy through embracewellnesstherapy.com?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
My Lord, I am so sorry. AB, I was so engrossed in the conversation. Family, I have put AB's website in the chat for everyone to see. The title of the book is The Sexual Miseducation of Black Men in America that we were discussing tonight, but he has other books that you can purchase as well. Are we looking for the books under AB Bracewell?
Yes, if you search AB Bracewell, they'll all pop up.
Heavens to Murgatroyd. I'm so sorry.
I got you back, Carl. I got you back.
Thank you, Dr. The name of the book, Alfred, did you get that? Okay, you did. Okay, he got the book. Okay, and you're looking for A.B. Bracewell. That is Bracewell. That's who you're looking for. Okay. So family, here we are, praising God as always, from whom all blessings flow. I'm going to ask that you continue to pray because we all need it. Don't forget to pray for your loved ones and your enemies when you are praying. That's right. I thank our guest, AB Bracewell. I thank you, Dr. Z. It's Dr. Z's family. Dr. Z's not a guest, but thank you, everybody, for your time, your energy, your attention, your spirit, your space, your knowledge. And thank you, family, for doing the same. Special thanks to the entire WURD family, especially Nick and Niall, for all that you do. Happy birthday once again to all of our love lights who are celebrating. Remember, family, that we're all in this together. So be good to you, but please be good to those around you. Remember to be careful and be kind. God loves you, and so do I. Family, have a great rest of your night, a great rest of your week and weekend. And be sure to join me Monday through Thursday, 7 till 9 p.m. Eastern Time for another edition of Love and Life with Carol Riddick, right here on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media. Have a good night, y'all. Good night. Good night.